Hi, listeners, and welcome to this week's episode, the final episode of Mumble Rumble. We have put 8 villains against each other for the past, I don't know how many weeks, and you guys have voted, and we are finally down to the final 2, which are, I'm just going to do a drum roll, but I'm not.
I can't play Voldemort.
Voldemort and the Joker.
Yay! Okay, so I think we could have guessed almost from the beginning it was going to end up being us two, just by how the first round went anyway. Yeah. Let's just run through quickly what the paths were to get here. So Voldemort initially faced Regina George in a very close battle in which Voldemort won. And then he faced the T-1000, I believe, in round 2. The Terminator T-1000 to get through to the final. And the Joker initially faced Maleficent.
Yes.
Beating one witch and then moving on to beat the Wicked Witch of the West in the semi-finals to make it through to the final.
Yes.
Yes. So this week I think I'll be taking on the role of the Joker again. And you will be in...
Voldemort.
Yes.
Yes.
We've decided that Kayla knows extensively more information about Voldemort. And because I think he's rubbish, I wouldn't battle for him correctly. I would just make him lose.
Yep.
So I think that's where we're going to go. Alright, so Kayla, tell us what are our standards.
Alright, we have their evil villain level rating. And that's on a scale of 1 to 10. We've been doing 1 being like a gremlin, 10 being like Satan. So,
which is a brilliant scale, by the way.
Thank you.
I think that more people need to use that.
Yes.
I love that scale. Okay. Just drop that in there.
Motivation, fighting ability, durability, and their X factor.
And I think we're going to stick one more in today, and that's of like how iconic they are as a villain. Because I think in the past some of the other ones won't have worked this, but I think both of these people are quite iconic as villains. And to the extent that even people who are not familiar with the universes or the literature, whatever these are in, they're very well aware of them as a character.
Yes.
So we'll discuss that maybe at the end as well.
All right.
Okay, so scissors, stone, paper to see who goes first.
Sure.
A very good podcast friendly feature. 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, it looks like I win, so that means
Joker
you
goes.
go first?
No, I thought that meant Joker goes first.
Oh, I was going to say, okay, that's fine. Alright, Joker goes first. So our first one is always a level of evil. Now, those who have listened to the last couple of weeks, you'll probably know what we're going to say, but we're going to try and throw in some other things, and who knows, we may have discussed that a bit better, so we've got more to say. But the Joker, how evil is the Joker? Now, if I'm going straight up villainy rating, last week, I believe I put him as a 9.5. I'm going to stick with a solid 9.5. I don't think there is many people who can claim that he isn't a very evil character. We've talked about how the Joker is really just driven by creating chaos and creating a world in which fear and destruction and in many cases things like disease and suffering is pinnacle and is key. This shows by his how he treats the civilians or the people of Gotham, how he's constantly tried to either pollute the waters, or if he's tried to gas them or turn them into his sort of weird minions through different sort of chemical narcotics. He isn't fearful of anyone, and therefore creates a bigger sense of evil in the fact that he will take on even villains. He's not. It's not like he's a good or bad. It's not like he sees anyone's on his side. He is just all out for himself to create as much carnage as possible. So on top of that, if you look into his past movies, whether it's the Batman from 1989 or whether it's the Chris Nolan stuff or the comics, he doesn't care if it's men, women or children. If it's people he cares about, he will go out of his way or not. He will hurt them and punish them and torture them to make sure he comes out on top. So therefore, level of evil, considering he has lack of care for people's life, he has lack of respect for anybody and will do anything he can to create that, he's pretty damn evil. Not quite Satan.
Almost.
But he's close.
Yeah.
What about Voldemort?
Alright. Starting out, I wasn't very good at the evil rating. So initially, in our...
I think you give Voldemort like a 6 or something.
I gave him an 8 in the beginning. But
Okay.
I am, after further thinking about him, I'm bumping him up to a 9.7.
Ooh, just 2.2 above Joker. Interesting.
Yes.
Way to come out strong.
Yes. So he is a very powerful wizard who he has no regard for people who aren't like him. So any humans who aren't a part of the wizarding world, he doesn't want them to be alive, or like could just demolish them and be completely okay. No regret, no remorse. In the process of gaining that power and control, he is willing to kill as many wizards as it takes to get that. So he also has no regard for wizarding life, even though they're purebloods, and he'd rather have them on his side. But if they're not going to join him, why should they be alive?
Okay.
So he has zero remorse, zero empathy towards people, and just no regard for life in general, and is willing to do whatever it takes to get to the top.
Okay, so what's considered the top to him then? What's his goal?
To be the most powerful wizard ever, in control of the entire world.
So is it to be the most powerful wizard ever, or to have the whole world populated by only pureblood wizards?
I think it's both. It's so if in order to be the most powerful wizard ever, he would have the entire world populated by only purebloods, and within that he would also obtain immortality, which is another big part of his
So you're saying
quest.
If he was successful and killed Harry Potter and managed to create the world, what would he do?
Sit back and just collect.
Sit back and collect?
Yes.
How evil of him. So you're saying once he's completed his plan, he would then just stop?
I mean, I'm sure there would be something else past that he would want to do.
Really?
But he has to meet that goal first.
Okay. So once he completes that goal, he's happy.
I don't know. He could want more. He probably does want more. He's evil.
All right. So he's gonna sit back and collect, and you think he might have something else to do. So is he indicatively evil, or is he just evil until he completes his master plan?
I think he's always evil. He's driven by just being power hungry, and so once that is met, he would just something else would just drive him to want power, and he'd chase after that.
All right, so I'm going to throw these two in the same world. You've got the Joker, who's just constantly causing chaos, regardless of what the world is like, and Voldemort, who's just the people are wizards now. Cool. Sit back, relax. I want more power, but I'm the most powerful wizard. What do I do now? Nothing, I guess. And the Joker's just there, causing chaos constantly.
But if he saw the Joker doing that,
evil.
But if he saw the Joker doing that, then he would fight him, and he'd be like, "Oh, well, now this other person."
Because he wants to be the good guy. Because he's trying to stop the evil. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, because he'd be like,
"Oh shit!"
Whatever. No, he'd be like, "Look, there's this guy who thinks he's more powerful than me. Gotta kill him now."
Interesting. You think he'd be threatened by the Joker?
Not because he's more evil than him, no.
And then why?
Because the Joker thinks he's more powerful, so he just has to prove him wrong.
So now he's all about, so he doesn't have to just be the most powerful, he has to make sure everyone knows he's the most powerful.
Yes. The Joker's the same way, though. He's constantly fighting Batman.
No, the Joker doesn't want power.
He's constantly fighting Batman.
The Joker just wants to cause chaos. He knows he's not the most powerful. But okay, interesting. I see what you're saying. Voldemort wants to take over a race and kill a whole race to do so. The Joker doesn't necessarily want to do that. He just wants to cause mayhem, even though he's a mass murderer and, takes women, children, and anybody. But interesting.
So what if the Joker doesn't want power, then what does he want? What's his motivation?
Nice segue. Okay, well that's a little bit different. He doesn't necessarily have a specific motivation. However, in the world in which he is relevant, he constantly wants to try and one-up Batman. Now, Batman being the best detective in the world and and the protector of Gotham and very in control, it is very difficult to one-up Batman. So therefore, if Batman is always on top, there's always motivation to Joker to try and one-up him. So you've either got to argue one thing: A, can Batman lose? And if he can, then the Joker wins. If he doesn't, then the Joker's always got motivation to one-up Batman. So not only is he out causing carnage and chaos, he's also got the desire to just kind of one-up Batman. So as long as Batman survives, then the Joker's motivation is always there to do better than him. Or the predecessor for Batman. No, wait, that's before, isn't it? What's after? What's after? Not predecessor. What's the one after that? Post-decessor?
Yes, that sounds right. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's not totally wrong. Whoever comes after Batman, whether it's like one of the Robins or something else, then he's going to try and one-up him. So although he doesn't have any direct motivation in the sense of creating a race, he does in the fact that he's got something to do, and that's what's keeping him active.
So his motivation is to beat one person.
Yes, but to do that in the most ridiculous mayhemic way, that'll do, so Rod claimed it, way possible.
Alright, so one person.
Well, to be fair, Voldemort's only trying to beat one 16-year-old boy and struggles pretty hard. Takes him over 7 years, and he still
Yes, he is trying to beat him.
Where there are times that the Joker beats Batman.
He's trying to beat him, but he's trying to beat him for a bigger reason than just that one boy.
Yes, but how big the reason is that really as the motivation's there, but it doesn't, just because the motivation seems like more powerful. Is it better to wipe out a race, or is it better to one up someone?
Depends on what your ultimate goal is. His ultimate goal is power. So in order to achieve power, one-upping one person or wiping out an entire race is going to give you more power than one person.
But does that make him more evil? Does that make him a bit of a villain?
Wanting to kill one person or wanting to kill a whole race?
Well, it depends who the good guy is in the story. If the good guy is Batman, then having him as your number one villain, because he's always trying to one-up you, is a pretty good villain. Even over on motivation, we'll get to villainy later, I guess. I know what you're saying, though. There is a bigger... motivation-wise, he is driven by a lot more.
Yes.
Because, for example, if Batman was to stop, I don't quite know what the Joker would do. But if Voldemort killed Harry Potter, there's a lot that Voldemort still has to do. So, I see where you're coming from. I don't agree, but I see it. Interesting. Okay, what's after motivation then?
Fighting ability.
Alright. Fighting ability. So, let's break this down into two categories.
Okay.
3 categories. Hand-to-hand combat. Hand-to-hand combat, the Joker is, although not proficient in any particular martial arts, he is pretty good when it comes to hand-to-hand. He can, not often, depends on what sort of iteration of Batman we're referring to, he can sometimes hold his own fighting Batman. He often does come out on the bottom end of that, but he can hold his own. Mm-hmm. He's not necessarily known as a big, strong man, but he's quick, swift, and a bit cunning, and can maneuver himself around a fist fight quite well. Mm-hmm. How does Voldemort do?
How would the Joker hold up against a wand that can produce any spell?
Whoa. I'm talking hand-to-hand combat at the moment. We'll get on to projectiles in a moment.
Hand-to-hand combat, Voldemort would probably fail. He
suck.
In the beginning is this little bitty rat baby thing, and the Joker would just kill him in hand-to-hand combat. And then...
Okay. Cool. We'll just make that clear. Hand-to-hand combat, Joker wins.
In the end,
possibly.
Yeah. Hand-to-hand combat, right. Joker has more.
Okay, I should just stop it there, but out of fairness, let's go out with tools and weapons.
Okay.
So, the Joker's main weapons tend to be knives, but he does also have another arsenal of guns. He, depending on different iterations, he has sort of serum that makes him big and strong, like a big crazy monster. If you've ever played Arkham, the video game. He has different forms of acid. He has pencils. He has some fire and guns.
Okay.
Lots of guns.
Now,
I don't know how bulletproof Voldemort is, but I think an automatic rifle being shot at him, 1,000,000 bullets a second, even though no guns fire that fast, he'd be pretty hard to avoid all that. Just saying. And then if he gets close, stab. Chib, chib, chib with a knife.
Okay. So...
Don't roll your eyes. Don't roll your eyes. That's pretty impressive.
It is impressive. It is impressive the amount of knives he can play with and guns he can play with. But what about the wand that Voldemort carries that can create a shield that can... I mean, it can do whatever he wants to do with the Joker. He could...
But can it?
Yes, he could create a shield to block all the bullets. He could...
I've never seen that in Harry Potter.
Well, that's... When have they brought in guns in Harry Potter?
When have they ever why have they never created shields? Lots of things have happened. I've never seen them create a shield.
They have, like,
ever.
created a shield type thing.
When?
Well, so when they were fighting in the fourth movie, when the wands connected and, like, the ghost came out and, like, protected him, and that was, like, a shield when he ran back to Cedric's body, and...
I don't know about that. Like, a physical shield.
No, they haven't
That's like a magical shield.
Yes, but...
What about a physical shield? Why
they have not
said
created a physical shield, but they've created magical shields.
Maybe it's not possible then.
Okay, well, then he can... Well, I can't go to that one yet. This is just about the wand. What else could he do? He can just kill him right there on the spot.
How?
Avada Kedavra.
I have no idea what that is.
The killing curse.
What is it?
The killing curse. Avada Kedavra.
Bless you. Abracadabra. I know we've already had 2 seasons of you telling me about this, and I 100% do know what it is, but I'm just going to argue because it's pretty good. So if I don't hear it, does it exist?
Yes.
Are you sure? It's not like a philosophy thing. If a tree falls in the forest, do you hear it type thing?
No, it exists.
Do the words have to be spoken?
I don't know.
So if I take him to like a vacuum and he can't speak?
I'm not sure. But if you take him to a vacuum and he can't speak, can bullets actually like hurt him there?
Bullets can still travel faster because there's no resistance.
Oh.
Possibly, probably, I think.
Made that up.
I've gone back to my physics. Yeah, there's no air resistance, so they'll probably move faster. But then that spin doesn't help them, so they'll probably drop quicker, unless it's in a proper like a gravity-free vacuum.
Okay.
Interesting point, actually.
Yeah.
Because bullets spin, so they don't drop as much. So the reason they spin is to kind of keep, I don't know, some sort of airflow, and that stops them from like dropping. Because as you shoot a bullet, it's meant to drop at the same speed it would if you just dropped it normally.
Okay.
Yeah, but it spins to stop that from happening. But if you have no air in a vacuum, that wouldn't happen, so it would drop pretty quick. So as long as he compensated for that, it'd be good.
Okay.
But you also couldn't breathe, so I don't know what's going to happen there. Yeah.
So they're both dead.
Well, okay. And that hypothetical, maybe.
Yes. So yes, he has a wand that he can do any spell with. Do we keep going with other things that he has?
I think the wand is pretty much like
all right.
A special weapon that can. Yeah, he's going to beat the Joker.
Yes.
All right, the last one is army or helpers.
Okay.
I don't know if you had another thing for your last one, or you were thinking the third one was going to be, but who do you have back up now? Again, I probably should have just kept this to one thing because the Joker looks like it's going to be a 3-2, but the Joker has an abundance of insane people from Arkham who to do his every bidding. They're all crazy people. Some of them have been manipulated, so it's like Killer Croc. Anyone from the Suicide Squad, any of those guys, if you've ever seen that TV show, or video, film,
Pretty good.
they could all be manipulated by the Joker very easily. So you got people like Harley Quinn, Deadshot, and Killer Croc, and Slipknot. Ooh, scared, right? If you remember him, he was the first one that died. They can all fight for him, and Scarecrow with that gas, he'll fight for him, and Poison Ivy. So he can use all these people to come up against who some of them have some versions of magic, not 100% magic, but some magic. And that's quite a formidable army to come head-to-head against. Like Batman struggles against them all, so Voldemort can't do that well, possibly.
Except
who's he got?
Voldemort has his army of Death Eaters, who also all have wands.
Don't know what
and so they are his followers who are willing to do anything. Who, when he fell off the map and just disappeared for for a long time, they still were like trying to find him, trying to follow him, trying to bring him back. And
they didn't do a very good job, did they?
No, they didn't. But
it took them decades, and even then they didn't find him. It was only because Harry Potter popped up.
But they still listen to him, and they still follow his command, and they're willing to like get tattoos on their arm where it hurts every time he touches it, and they're willing to be manipulated by him. So,
but without him, they're not very good. Is that what you're saying?
Without him, they aren't very good. Okay,
so just saying that all of Joker's friends, other than the sane side people from Arkham, all the good ones, pretty formidable. They take on Batman by themselves. Just saying, pretty good people.
All right.
Good in the fact that bad, but yeah. But they don't have wands. None of them have got wands. They've got like plants that listen to them and
a hammer.
Like a hammer. Who's a hammer?
I thought Harley Quinn had a hammer.
Oh yeah, she does. Yeah, I have something in my head. As a mallet, I'd say in my head, but hammer is pretty accurate. Yeah. Okay, so that one's maybe for the listeners to decide.
Yes.
Yes. Who's better to the Death Eaters or the Suicide Squad, essentially? All right, what's next?
Durability.
Now, neither of us, I don't think, are very good at this. Now, I would say the durability is the Joker's been around for a long time. Oh, you and your bloody Horcruxes get to fuck, right? The Joker has been around for like 40 years, facing Batman as often as he can, and he is still alive. He has taken on numerous iterations of Batman and special abilities, and he has yet to be killed, apart from in that one comic killing joke, but we won't talk about that. And he has managed to take up beatings and take on being probably set on fire, probably at some point, and being sliced open, probably quite often. And he has come back stronger and better and smarter than ever. So, in that sense, he's pretty bloody durable. There's not many villains that have been around for as long as him, and still going strong. See, Voldemort, he got beat up by a baby. He got beat up by a baby in love.
He
beat up by a baby in love.
He did not get beat up by a baby in love.
And had to go away for 14 years / 18 years, depending on full strength.
Okay, but so Voldemort did this thing with Horcruxes where he divided his soul into 7?
You can't see, listeners, I'm rolling my eyes.
Very hardcore. 7 pieces, and until all of them are destroyed, he can't die. So it would take, it's like a cat having 9 lives. This guy has at least 7 chances.
What makes him full strength again, though?
I guess remaking another Horcrux.
Let's just go through some literature. Book 1, what happens?
What do you mean, what happens?
Does he survive?
He survives.
Barely?
He's regaining his strength in book 1.
Okay, in book 2, anything significant happen?
One of the Horcruxes is killed.
How's it? By what? Who kills it?
Like a 13, 14-year-old boy.
Okay, cool.
With a basilisk fang.
Basilisk fang, and he got that from just kill the basilisk of something, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's just okay. What happens in book 5?
5.
I don't know when does the next Horcrux happen? 7, 6.
I don't know.
Later.
I don't know. 5, 6, 7. So yes.
Are they all destroyed? All 7 of them?
Eventually, yes, they are. It takes multiple books and multiple movies, but they are all destroyed.
So within, if you said a 13-year-old boy, and by 18, because he's still at school, 5 years. Cool. So this immortal man is killed by a 13-year-old boy in 5 years.
Yes, 5-ish.
Cool. Now, I was actually just about to say, well, the Joker spent 40 years and he's not dead from Batman. But if you were going to fight that case, you would say, well, the Batman doesn't kill. So therefore, the Joker would never die.
I didn't know the Batman didn't kill.
Because the Batman... Well, if you look at the movies, you wouldn't think that, but as comic book lore, the Batman doesn't ever kill anyone. But you look at Batman v Superman, he's like mowing down mobs of people. But apparently. So, going by proper lore, if he's facing Batman, he would never die anyway. So, how durable do you have to be against someone who doesn't kill you? I don't know.
They're facing each other, right?
That's... I don't know. Are we doing it against each other? Are we doing it... I don't know. What have we done in the past?
I don't know.
We have done it against each other, I guess, haven't we?
If they were separate in their separate worlds, and he's solely fighting Batman, and that's the only person he's fighting, and Voldemort is fighting other wizards who also have powers, then...
13-year-old boys.
maybe the Joker would have more of an upper hand because he's fighting somebody who doesn't kill him. But if they're facing each other and it's head-to-head and one has 7 Horcruxes sustaining him and one is just a crazy guy, I think that Voldemort is more durable.
Well, that's for the listeners to decide.
Agreed.
Because I think that Joker's pretty durable. Kinda.
Alright.
X Factor. Now, I don't know if do you want to talk about X Factor for this one? Because I don't have much of an X Factor I've not already talked about. Do you have much that you've not already talked about?
No.
No?
Just, I mean, there's other things that he can do, but, I mean, I think that I've given enough for them to already choose him anyway, so.
So let's finalise it then. Instead of that X Factor, let's finalise with infamy as a villain. This was set out to be the best villain out of these 8. I know there's a lot more villains. We might get to them at some point. Let's see if you can put out how you feel or why you feel Voldemort is one of the greatest villains of all time. So
Voldemort is very well known, obviously within the Harry Potter community, if that even exists.
That exists, unfortunately. Yeah, it does.
Unfortunately. Hey, watch it.
I've seen it firsthand.
So he's very well known throughout that. But even people who haven't seen Harry Potter, you can mention Harry Potter, or if you ask them to name one character, and that wasn't Harry Potter, they could pretty much name Voldemort. Everybody knows who Voldemort is. He is the bad guy from Harry Potter. So
yeah, I don't want to fight your con. I think if you said to anyone, who is he who should not be named, I think almost everyone our age would know it's Voldemort.
Yes. Which
is pretty substantial. And probably our parents and the generation below us.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive. I'll give you that. But is he well known in China?
I don't know. I haven't never been to China.
And do you think he's an iconic villain though?
I think he's pretty iconic.
Go wow, he was a good villain. He was a good villain.
Yes and no. I don't want to give this to the Joker, but if we go off of looks and how they have been portrayed in movies, I think the Joker's just look is a lot more iconic than Voldemort's, because in a lot of Voldemort's look kind of changes throughout the movies, right? He starts in the first movie as this baby thing, and then becomes this guy with no nose eventually. But there's this transition of him, and then the Joker, I have so many different memories of what the Joker looks like in different movies, and it's kind of all similar, and it's all pretty scary. And other than Voldemort's powers, I don't know that he's that intimidating to look at.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think his name is iconic, but I don't know that as a actual character standing in front of you that he's very iconic.
I think that's fair, and it's I realise what you're saying. You don't necessarily want to give this to the Joker, and we're not. But I think the Joker's he's been around since 1940, so he's a longer time to establish himself as a villain, which shouldn't go in his favour, but kind of does. I think almost anyone that says name a Batman villain, well, first of all, everyone knows who Batman is. You say name a Batman villain, and say the Joker, or maybe the Penguin. However, if you say Harry Potter villain, they'll always say Voldemort. And it's not like there's a Batman at Universal Studios, to be fair. I think when you think, because it's an arch nemesis as well, you wouldn't necessarily say Voldemort is the arch nemesis of Harry Potter, even though he kind of is. It's a weird thought process, because it was almost like Harry Potter was never matched up. One-on-one, they were never equals. You know what I mean? Harry Potter always had to use his friends and loved ones and this and that to kind of help him.
Yeah.
And that's what made the book so good, because it was everyone working together, where Batman's one-on-one nemesis is the Joker. And that's almost what makes that, a good villain. And with the way he's portrayed, and because he's had various iterations of being portrayed, you can like the way Jack Nicholson did it, you can like the way Heath Ledger did it, you can like the way that Mark Hamill does it in the cartoons, it's, or what the guy did it in the Adam West version. So I can't remember the guy's name. So I guess you can say, oh, I love the way Heath did it, or I love the way Jared Leto did it. Or apparently Joaquin Phoenix is doing a new version of it. So, yeah. So I don't know. I think that's why he gets that advantage in being iconic.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we'll have to let the listeners decide.
Yeah, I agree. This is a hard one.
Okay. This is a hard one.
This was a pretty good match, too.
When it does go down in history, both of them will be, probably for a very long time, known as two pretty good villains.
Yes.
And I can't off the top of my head think of many other villains who aren't like overpowered villains like Thanos that could take on these guys, really. Mm-hmm. Oh, we'd definitely put up a better fight in this Mumble Rumble.
Yeah.
Alright, anything else to add?
I think that's it. Go vote.
Alright. Yeah, listeners, listen, and then vote. I'm going to put a challenge out first of all. We're going to put this out on Twitter, on Instagram. The Voldemort is contender A, and Joker is contender B. We're going to put it out on Instagram that either contender A or B wins without letting you know who's who. And this is for the listeners. For the people, if you have to listen to decide. Because if you just vote and you didn't listen, then you're just doing it by who you prefer. And we don't want that. So we'll try that first. And if we don't get any votes, then we'll just do it by who you guys prefer. Because let's be honest, we need votes.
Yes.
To declare a winner.
Yes.
I think, go vote. Let us know what you think. Let us know also if you want us to do something like this again. It doesn't have to be with villains, it can be with heroes, it can be with...
anything.
We'll maybe try and make it not last over 12 weeks or whatever. I think it was the 1st of January the first time we put one of these out, so... Or was it before Christmas? I don't even know.
I don't remember.
Christmas.
It's been so long.
So long ago, so we'll maybe try and get them done quicker.
Yes.
Or with other people helping. Oh, that's good then.
Yep.
Oh, we forgot to do Let's Get Ready to Mumble.
Aww.
Oh, let's do it now.
Let's get ready to mumble.
Oh, wow. Okay. Don't know why we're doing it then, because we're just finishing up.
Yes.
But, okay. Well, in that case, I've been Liam.
I'm Kayla.
And this has been Mumblecast.
Bye.